Great news for Buffalo Sabres fans. They needed a little bit of good news, and this will give them a huge shot in the arm. I'll be curious to see what direction they go. They, of course, did draft Rasmus Dahlin just a couple of years ago. Jack Eichel before that. They've got a center. They've got a great D. Dahlin really came on in the second half of the year and played up to his abilities after an incredibly slow start. So now they have the big decision, really. For me, it's kind of between Owen Power and Matthew Beniers. No disrespect to Brant Clark. He's right there as well, but I am very, very much looking forward to the 2021 draft. As you see our NHL Network's top list, and those players right there, you cannot lose if you're drafting any one of these guys, in my opinion. Every one of them looks like they're going to be a bona fide player. Dylan Guenther did great things for the Oil Kings. William Eklund, of course, another fabulous Swedish player. Brant Clark. I always think it's next to impossible to find great D. And even though the trend has been that you get your top players in the National Hockey League high in the draft in terms of the goal scorers, whenever there's great D available, it always catches my eye. I'd be surprised if the Buffalo Sabres didn't go that direction.
Okay.
Owen Power when it's all said and done. But how about Seattle?
Oh, I know. Well, what I thought was interesting, too, is that with the exception of Seattle and Anaheim flipping spots, the rest of the field filled out exactly as the odds predicted. So I guess there's something to be said for odds. Yes,
and that does not happen very often, and the math was dramatically against it, but that's the way it worked out this year. That's fantastic at the end of the day. I know Seattle will be over the moon. I've already received a couple texts from people on their staff. Buffalo is obviously thrilled. You could tell by Kevin Adams' reaction. And Anaheim, they're still going to get a really top-flight player.
Right.
We selected second in Tampa one year. You know what? It's just one of those things where you feel fortunate as an organization to be able to have a shot at drafting one of these kids, because there's some real quality hockey players and people in that top 5 group.
How thrilling do you think it is for Ron Francis to get the second pick? Yes, we know it couldn't have been much lower. What, fifth?
Yeah,
the lowest they could have gone. But
Ronnie's so humble. He probably never thought. He would never say that he hoped he moved up. That's just not his personality. But deep down, he's got to be pretty psyched right now. Even just moving up one more spot, he'll feel good about that. He can control his fate a little bit more. A lot of pressure on the scouts this year. It was a tough year. And we're going to ask these guys, the teams are going to ask these guys to do the same amount of quality work that you've seen in the past when they've nailed so many of the great players at the top of the draft.